And instead of, he's huge. Hold on here. He's still. He's giant. Ew. I see you not. That was about an inch big. Holy. Now we get to actually start sanding and polishing. Backtrack, the clear is fully cured and it came out pretty bitchin'. No runs, no sags, just a little bit of what we call trash. It's just like little airborne fine particulates. It usually basically happens in between clear coats. There's a big fucking fly. He needs to go on the bug zapper, little fucking bastard. Fucking summertime. Swear to fucking God, I hate summer. Anyways, you might end up seeing him again. Fucking maverick. And he should have been goose. So anyways, usually that happens in between clear coats, you know, especially when you have, you know, a type of spray booth like I have, which is basically, it's not a fully enclosed, but you know, it's a booth like what we're in right now. Get in the goddamn bug zapper. So basically, you know, it just happens in like I said, it happens in between coats. You know, it'll land on top of the clear, and then you'll just kind of spray on it because you don't notice it. And you know, just as long as it's on top of a clear on one of the coats, and instead of, he's huge. Hold on here. He's giant. Ew. I see you not. That was about an inch big. Holy. That wasn't a. I think this video is gonna be me versus a fly. Seth Brundle. Huh. The thing is a mutant. Put a saddle on it. Go for a ride. Let's go to the 7-Eleven. Here we go again. So, anyways. Jesus. I never get through this intro. Why can't you just die? A 3-minute intro is going to last 15 minutes. Okay, I want to actually get into this. Anyways, when you get junk on it, I don't know if you can see it, but there is junk on it. As long as it's on top of any one of the clear coats, it's fine, because you're going to actually sand it smooth, like super duper smooth, and there's a very good chance you'll end up actually sanding that junk out. And usually, of course, it'll be in between a clear coat instead of underneath it, like all the way at the base coats, because as long as you prep, you know, your paint work, you know, clean it all off, tack rag before you put the clear on and go for it, it's going to end up showing up after. So that's why I'm never really worried about it. And it's I think you got it. Hopefully, heard the nice little crack of a dead fly in a bug zapper. So anyways, long story short, don't worry about junk on a clear coat unless it's really fucking huge, and I don't know how the you did that, but that's nothing to really worry about. So I'm not going to go into too much in depth on how to color sand and polish step by step, blah 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 blah, because I have 2 other videos, guitar videos I did behind this one. You can check that out where I did go into more detail on that. If you go back into the Ibanez RG build, the green guitar, there's more in depth on what happens if you get sags and runs, on how to actually get it out after the fact. and totally make them disappear. So if you get something like that, you can resort back to one of those videos. But I'm going to actually, I'm going to show you all the stuff that actually you need as a reminder. So first thing you want to need is you want to make sure you have all your sandpapers. For polishing, you generally want to go 1,000 on up, usually 1,000 to 2,000. Of course, your roughest grit is really to plane it flat. So you want to have like 1,000 and maybe some 15. But when you start going into like 2,000s and 2,500s, that's where the real polishing happens. And then, and of course, the first couple grits is really about, like I said, just getting it close to flat, about 95% of the way there. And the way you know that is as you're sanding, it'll look hazy and dull, but you'll still have like spots that are shiny. Those are the low spots. Those are the spots you gotta get to, but just get to there. Don't like go too far. Continue and sand in it when you're already there with the 1,000 to 15,000. Save that for the higher grit stuff because you don't want to take off too much clear. And that's also why it's also good to add a couple extra layers of clear coat when you actually clear coat the damn thing, because you're going to be removing some. And when you're sanding, have a block. For wet sanding, you want like a soft block that's flexible because you're going to have curves you want to form into it. You don't want to use your hand because your hand is uneven and you're defeating the purpose. So after you initially get 95% of the way there, where you just have it finally at its dull moment, that's when you start going into the higher grits, the 2,000s, 25, there's 3,000s, even 4,000s. You can go ahead and do that. You're really just trying to dull up the scratches from the 1,000 and the 1,500, and just going finer and finer and finer. You're not really shaping anything, you're not planing anything, you're just removing scratches. And after that is where you start going into polishing. And you usually always want to start off with a wool pad or a synthetic wool pad. And you start off with a rubbing compound. That's number one. Just like the other compounds, there are finer and finer grits. Rubbing compound is the more aggressive one. The next one I'm going to go up is basically a swirl remover. That's like a second stage. For like McGuire's right here, that kind of tells you what here. Like the rubbing compound would be like all the way up here. Well, this one is a finer one, but it's not the finest. Finest one I got is this 3M. It's step 3. You usually use this on dark colors, but it's basically a even finer course of that. And that's when you also got to pay attention to your foam pads too. You know, there are like a stage 2 and a stage 3. You can kind of tell by just looking at the pores, the openings. The more openings you see is the more aggressive and the more finer, so you kind of want to match up with that too. And have some type of buffer. You can do it by hand, it'll just take longer. I just have a little polisher, low speed. By the way, let me remind you, lowest speed for polishing, and don't sit on a spot. Always keep moving. And speaking of sitting on spots and stuff, same thing when it comes to sanding. Don't hit hard edges. Stay away from them, because that's where your paint and your clear is at its thinnest, because you got to look at a thing like this and paint goes over and it gets thinner over there. That's why it's so easy to burn that off. So just stay on flat parts. Don't hit that edge. Just go over it and leave it. Same thing when you're polishing. Same rule. So that's basically the rundown on the stuff you need to polish and how to do it. But of course, the first thing you should do is, like I said, you want to start with your more aggressive ones, which for me is 1,000. And you're going to need water and some type of bucket. I like to put my paper in it for a few minutes, kind of like get it soaking, absorbing, and pliable. So I'm going to do this whole step, sanding and polishing, all in everybody's favorite thing to do, because I need to listen to some music to get motivated on this. And I know I'm going to get interrupted by some idiots and big ass mutant flies probably. We're going to do this in a time lapse, so I'm sorry. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, time lapse. Yep. that was one hell of a time lapse. If it seemed really kind of odd during it, the camera shut off like probably 3 times during that. When the battery overheats, it has to cool down. So I tried to like stop there too, and hopefully not much was missing. I guess I'll find out as I'm editing this video. Well, basically here we're at. Any junk is gone. It's a nice mirror freaking finish. I'm really hoping the pearl is showing this light in here, but may not. But believe me, it's there. Oh. Anyways, so yeah, that's color sanding and polishing in its form. So the next video is where the fun begins. It's where we could actually start putting something back together. And the first thing will be done is this, of course. But yeah, this is going to start looking like a guitar in the next video. So I hope you'll come back. I hope you'll watch that one. I hope you'll like the video, you'll subscribe it. Probably not, but heck, you know, it doesn't cost you nothing. And it'll probably just sit in a whole list of others subscribe stuff that you don't really pay attention to. But hey, it kind of helps me out. I'm trying to actually get monetized so I can buy that burrito. Anyways, see you on the next one. Get the fuck out of here along with that fuck fly from earlier. He fuck burned himself.